Hello and welcome back. I'm your host with the most, TheChronicToast, and today we are diving right back into BeamNG.drive. That's right, our most favorite soft body physics simulator in the automotive car crashing world. Oh man. Today we're taking a look at the scenario Pessima introduction. As the description says, a fun time trial to introduce the 1996 Ibishu Pessima. Difficulty is, of course, hard. The authors are BeamNG, and the creation is August 7th, 2015, on the map East Coast, USA. Oh man, let's get stuck into this and see what this ends up looking like. All right, here we go, all loaded in. It says here you'll be driving the Ibishu Pessima, a front-wheel drive sedan. Tips and hints. The start of the course is a series of tight corners through the gas station. Take a look at the layout first to get a feel for it. The finish line is beyond a jump. Make sure you have plenty of speed as you cross the bridge so you can make it over the jump. Good luck. All right, well, that being the case, we're going to hit that start button. And before we even dive into this, we are not going to be doing the time trial here initially. We're going to first kind of take a look here at the car, checking this thing out. Looks like a pretty bog standard late to mid 90s passenger car. Reminds me a little bit of the Ford Taurus and a few others that are out there, just in the rounded styling and things like that. Looks like it goes, stops, not particularly fast. You can see it's slowly shifting around, all that stuff. It can break the traction though. The front wheels is pretty nice. But you can see here we're going to be going through. There's 11 checkpoints, driving through and working our way around. And looks like we got to meander our way through here, and we'll see how that goes. Oh boy, we're already understanding just how much of an understeer this thing has. But all right, well, with that being the case, we are going to be diving in. We're going to be giving this as much of a start as we possibly can. We're going to hit that throttle here on this first attempt. Oh, man. Here we go. We're going to come up here, pop that e-brake, come around here a little bit, and pop that e-brake again just to get this back into the car to turn around. We don't really have good traction to handle this very well. Hit that normal brake. No need to... possibly. I guess we do have to use the e-brake. This car just does not want to steer at all. It doesn't have much traction, and it does not want to plant those front tires here at all. Like, no matter how much you slam that brake, it just does not want to pivot. You can slam that brake, and it will just... it does not go where you want it to go. It does... Oh, gosh. Right front tire is deflated. Not good. I was going to say this car stops pretty good in the straight line, but that's not true at all. It's just not good. Oh, man. Trying to feather the throttle as we go through here. Looks like our right rear running light is out. Because this car does not want to turn. Maybe it'll turn better with a flat right front tire? Maybe, maybe not. Ooh, slowing down. Let's look at a tight turn up here. Here we go. Just trying. The steering is at like a full lock. And, oh gosh. Yeah, that right front tire is totally flat. That's not good. Not good at all. But yeah, this car just does not want to turn. The tires on this are junk, or the suspension just does not want to plant, which is not ideal. So we're going for broke. Looks like we'll be okay. Oh, that's the jump they were talking about. Oh gosh. And we finished this. We crossed the finish line sideways. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Huh. Okay. 1 minute, 35.53 seconds. I would say that's not too shabby, but we could not get the car to actually go in and do what we wanted it to do. We'll hit the retry button here, and we're going to try to do this here in first person, again with automatic transmission, to see if we can't possibly get this to work out a little bit better. Maybe we can get a better feel for the car here. It's hard to say. Pretty cool interior, but oh man, this thing just does not want to turn very well at all. Like, oh man, hit that button there. There we go. Try to get that back and turn around. That's the only way I'm able to even get this thing to turn. The wheels want to break free. Just does not want to brake at all very well. Like here, I go into full brake, even trying to pump the brake. It does not want to turn. Even in a straight line, even if it is trying to brake like here, it just does not at some point want to work out very well. So we do have to use the rear brake, e-brake on this to try to get this thing to go. And holy cow, 128,000 miles on this car down there below. No wonder this thing does not want to turn. And here, even if we wanted to turn in advance, looks like there's rocks there. This course is definitely working against us at every step of the way. But knowing that we have to use the e-brake up here, it does seem to help a little bit. A little bit. Ooh, we almost caught the trees there. Oh boy, that would have been rough. That would have been very rough. It is hard to see just because the car's a little bit lower to the ground there. But we're doing what we can. Ooh, get under control, get under control. Get under control. Oh, that's not good. Oh, and that would be why we have wrapped the car around the tree here. Oh my goodness. Oh man, we've completely caved in the side pillar. It looks like everything's roughly okay. It looks like that passenger seat's shifted in quite a bit. Ooh. Well, that would explain why we are not... Man, the rear of the car isn't even on the ground. All right, well, we're going to definitely go in and try this again from this first-person view. We do have to keep in mind that the brakes, it's just not going to work very well. What that means is even if you stab the brakes and plant the throttle, trying to get this car to weight transfer efficiently, with it being a front-wheel drive car, it just does not want to bite. You overload that right front suspension just way too easy. So we're going to have to use the e-brake to just kind of drag this rear end around just to try to get this thing to do anything meaningful. We're just going to keep the throttle pegged, and we're going to try that approach here and just stab this e-brake around. That way we can keep that weight transfer on the outside wheel as much as possible rather than letting off the throttle. It just does not want to handle very well at all. So we're just going to sling this thing around and hopefully, fingers crossed, this works pretty good. I've got my 3 fingers set up. I've got throttle, brake, and e-brake all prepped and ready to go. And my left thumb is over here on this throttle. We'll see if we can't make this work. Slowing down here, swing it around. Oh, that was not great. We slammed into the right rear, whatever that was. Fingers crossed the car continues to drive relatively straight. It seems to mostly be handling okay. It might be drifting the right end out a little bit more. We got to keep an eye on that. It is pulling slightly to the left. We do have a pretty good approach coming up through here. Just kind of hang out here on the right. Ooh, grab that, drop those right wheels right over that side. Slow down so we don't go off into the trees. Those are very, very angry trees. I got a culvert here on the left that we're not careful we're going to grab. Use the outside bank to get that rear end straight up. Here we go. Throttle down. Fingers are just smashed. Can we get down here, crossing the bridge? I think we go slightly to the right, if I recall. Oh, well, I think over there somewhere is where we got to go. Somewhere. I think we snagged a tree, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, gosh. Yep, right there's the jump that we were trying to get straightened up for as much as possible. Oh, wow, this is worse. So this, I'm like, oh, it's kind of weird. It's pulled the wheel off, but nope. Not only is the engine dead, the whole wheel has just been ripped right off. Wow. Oh, what a crap car this is. Oh, my gosh. This might be okay for a commuter car, but let me tell you what, this thing handles like junk. It handles worse than a Yaris on the freeway, and you're trying to like duck and weave and bob and do all that stuff. And before anyone, dunks on me too hard, Yaris is an okay car. But if you start putting it through its paces to the extreme for handling, you very quickly overload the suspensions in the front and the rear on the corners. It just does not handle very well once it's in an extreme situation. And unfortunately, that is what it is. As far as going places, stopping and doing all that's generally pretty good. But I'd like to know that my car, in extreme situations, which is usually what you find yourself in crash avoidance and so on and so forth, or adverse weather, that you're generally going to be able to trust the thing. And this Ibishu Pessima, I think it might very well be in the title of the car. I do not trust that this car is going to handle the way that I want to. We're getting through this a little bit better, a little bit faster. Third person definitely seems to be the way to go, at least so far, on finishing first time around. Ooh, we got to slow down. Just trying to, man, get this steering wheel is lock to lock. Words are hard. This car handles like a wet paper bag upside down and inside the water to boot. And it's a little gutless, but I'm not going to fault it for that. It doesn't intend to be a sports car. It's a passenger car as well. And we're going to try to keep a little bit further away from that tree, but still keep it somewhat close. Here we go over the jump. Oh my gosh, it flies nose up. Not too shabby. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. 128.40. That's actually a little bit quicker than doing this in third person. Now, that being said, in third person, we did, in fact, have a flat tire. But we did complete it first time around, so there is that. We will get in here for this opportunity, and I think we're going to try to go back to third person. We'll see if we're lucky, and we're going to try to do the arcade, the manual gearbox, as it were. Not the arcade, the realistic. So there we go. Put it in the first gear and see if we can't make this a little bit better. I'm not really convinced that this is easier, but maybe we can get some better launches out of our e-brake. It seems like it might be the case. Slamming it down into the gears, it's able to slow us down a little bit better than the brakes can, just kind of abusing that transmission just a wee little bit there. We don't have to worry quite so much about... Actually, I haven't even touched the rear ear brake. Now, that being said, we are hammering off of the throttle and the rev limiter here. So not ideal. Oh, gosh. That one didn't work out quite so well. I got a little bit overzealous with it right there. But we do have the running lights on, which is cool. Those are not the brake lights, which is nice. Oh, man, I'm using the transmission and the gearing almost more than the brake and the e-brake just to get this thing to turn, which isn't ideal, to be perfectly honest, but we are doing what we can here. That is not good for the long-term situation of a car. If you're having to use the transmission very aggressively to brake and get the car to turn, you probably want to get a different car. Using the e-brake there, throwing it down into the first gear, bouncing off the rev limiter. Here we go. Can we get this gutless car up to speed? I'm not convinced it's going to be faster, but we are going to give it as big a shot as we can. There we go. We're bouncing up. We're into third gear, rolling along, trying to go as much as we can. Straight shot. Will we be lucky? Oh my gosh, it's going to be close, but I think that being the case, first person with an automatic transmission is probably going to be where we need to go with this. 129.43 is, of course, kind of the place where it is stuck at. Now, again, we did do our best to kind of complete this. No worries there. We're just going to kind of drive around and check out this map here. That's pretty cool. They've got the auto center here. I've seen plenty of those in upstate New York or in the Midwest. I haven't had a chance to run around the western portion of the country too much to see if those sorts of things are a little bit out there as well. Looks like we lost a hubcap there. But man, there's all sorts of trails and things here. And obviously, a lot of this is blocked off simply due to the fact that we are here doing some racetrack stuff as well. But if we can, we might try to meander around some of these here. We'll try to go down a trail over here. Why not? I think this is a trail. Maybe it's not a trail. It is a trail. It is definitely a trail, and this is not what this car is meant for, but hey, it is what it is. Lots of mud floating through this. Can we get up the hill? But that's what I love about all these sorts of crazy maps is you get an opportunity to try to do things with cars that they're not necessarily supposed to do. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. Even the crap cars, even the good cars. Man, I love BeamNG.drive. The physics are pretty darn good. They seem to be a little bit overzealous in their deformation sometimes when you get to the point where you're doing crazy things like stuffing trees at 100 miles an hour into the right front of the car. But that being said, it's not too far from the truth. You get into that situation, you're going to be in a very, very bad way. This is a really cool dirt road I don't think I've ever necessarily been on. This is nice. This reminds me of the Midwest a little bit. And the road just kind of bails out here onto the road. Use the e-brake and do some fun stuff. So we are definitely not going to be completing this run. But we will go out here and do our best to get as high a speed as possible and see if we can't find a really cool place to wreck. Oh man, I think we're going to get an opportunity up here. If I recall where this is, there's going to be a corner that we might not be able to make. I don't think we're going to get that chance. Oh gosh. Oh man. Oh. Oh, wow. Airborne. Oh, man. Everything on this car is just dynamited up. Holy wah. Looks like the passenger compartment is a little compressed. Let's go in and take a look. A little bit, but generally, this passenger car has done what it needed to do. It's, for the most part, everything's still intact. An 80-mile-an-hour crash off-road into trees. Not too shabby. Well, with that being the case, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for stopping on in. And I look for being able to share some more scenarios with you here as we spend some more time here checking things out. But with that being the case, as we always like to say, I'll see you next time. Have a good one.